If you feel confused about your iron levels, that's because it's been made to be that way. Recently, I went and donated blood, and I got a little pamphlet in the mail, and I was really excited to see what it had to say, and I started reading through it, and I was mildly disappointed. So first off, it's talking that red blood cells are rich in hemoglobin. Yep, I agree with that. And when you donate blood, you will lose iron. Yep, that's exactly what we want. And then it goes on to say, a diet rich in iron is advised for all donors, but may not be enough to replenish iron lost. Okay. So part of the benefits of donating blood is that we are losing iron, and that's exactly what we want. So our iron can be 10 times higher in our organs than it is in the blood. And that is wild to think because iron is meant to be moving. It is not meant to be stuck in our organs. But given the world that we live in, where our foods are sprayed with herbicides and pesticides and who knows what, along with things that have depleted copper over time, antibiotics or different things that chelate copper, like glyphosate does, then we have ended up in this position where iron doesn't have what it needs to move in the body. And so that has a huge impact on us. There was a really interesting study that was done with birds, and they bled them almost to death, and they wanted to see what true iron deficiency anemia looked like. Now, it depends on which type of bird that you're looking at, because they use two types, but their bodies produced ceruloplasmin at 3 to 6 times the amount after the blood loss. So that tells us that our bodies use ceruloplasmin to help our bodies get back to balance. So that's one of the reasons why donating blood can be so beneficial, is because our body is going to produce more ceruloplasmin, and that is the bus that's needed to move iron. If you've never heard of ceruloplasmin or you're unsure what I'm talking about, go and look at the second video that I have pinned on my page, and that explains how iron moves. So when we donate blood, it's not that we need to eat a diet rich in iron afterwards. It's that our body is naturally going to help the iron move that we have within us, and that is the state that most of us are in where iron isn't moving. Ask your healthcare provider about the need to check your iron stores, ferritin test, it's important, and taking daily iron supplements. And then when we go down all the way to the bottom, it says if untreated, iron deficiency anemia or iron deficiency can lead to anemia, low hemoglobin. I would like you to help make this make sense to me. Why are we taking iron supplements if our ferritin is being tested? It makes no sense to me. It makes none. If they're saying that we lose hemoglobin, which is true, then true iron deficiency anemia is based on the hemoglobin, but they're recommending a ferritin test be done and iron supplements be taken for that, which doesn't make any sense. Ferritin is the storage of iron. We don't need it in excess. Iron is very, very important, but we don't need it in excess. And the world that we live in has us with way too much iron in our bodies. And when we take iron supplements, that's not helping iron move. So if you feel confused about your iron status and you're unsure of why none of this makes sense, it's because this is what we're being told, and that doesn't make any sense. The reality is that ferritin is the storage. We want it between 20 and 50, which is significantly lower than most people think, and we don't need a huge amount of it. It's just a storage. We just need a little bit of it. It's the hemoglobin. That's where 70% of the iron is meant to be in our body, that less than 10% needs to be in ferritin. So we don't need a huge abundance there. Now, if you're interested in learning more, go to my bio, go check out my links. I just started a community where I have tons of topics that I am discussing, and is where all my courses will be.